Hi friends, welcome to a Quirky Monday Tidbit. I am coming on here today to do the entry video for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, for watching my videos, for having conversations in the comment section, for sharing your good moments, for sharing positivity, for being a part of my universe. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kalisha, and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. Like I said, I do appreciate all of you for being here. We hit 1,000 subscribers on not this past Monday, but the Monday before that. What was that date? Today is the 15th. I don't know, whatever 2 Mondays ago was. So I put out a video on Instagram thanking you guys and announcing that I hit the 1,000. It was super excited. I did quite the epic happy dance. I may have fallen into the trash can. Stuff happens. But I wanted to get on here and do the video so that you all can comment on this video. There is going to be a prompt question that you will need to answer in order to enter this giveaway. So we will have 2 giveaway prizes. So I'm going to show you the first giveaway package. All right. So where should we begin? Let's start with the big things. Oh my gosh, I've just tossed all of the goodies in this bag. So bear with me just a moment. All right. Okay. We got it together. So, giveaway prize pack number 1 will include this project bag. This is a bag by Melody's Needle Notes. Her card will be in the package as well, and I will link her down below. It is a really good size bag, and it's interfaced really well. It's really nice and squishy. Thumbs up Melody for that craftsmanship. But that's the pattern, and it has a removable handle, which, you know, I do love a removable handle. With this, we are putting in this skein of birch hollow fibers. This is a wayward skein, and this is on her sock yarn base. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards for 100 grams. Look at that color. It's showing up a little bit more blue on the screen than it is in real life, but I thought those went together nicely. In addition, you have a lotion bar from the Florida Soap Company. And this is, of course, one of our local businesses. They actually sell in the mall down here. And this is the Angel Scent. It's a very light scent, so very nice. So I love that. You have some teas. One of the teas, if you have watched this podcast for a while, you will know that this right here, this English tea shop white tea, blueberry and elderflower, is like my favorite tea. And I have 2 boxes of it, and I am sharing it with you guys. Oh, also from Melody's Needle Notes, there are some stitch markers. So those will be in there. And then there's another stitch marker on her business card. The last 2 things that will be in this prize pack, there is an enamel pen by Claudia over at Crochet Luna, and it says crochet friends are the best friends, and a little notebook. Yep, can't see that all. There you go. It is the Little Note Animal Farm, and it has a sheep on it, so how could I not buy this, right? So that is everything that is in prize packet number 1. Prize pack number 2, the project bag, is by me. This is a one-of-a-kind Quirky Monday Crafts project bag. It's a unique size, so it's a little bit bigger than my medium-sized bags, and I really want to keep it, but I'm not going to. This bag, it has duck cloth, like canvas, at the top and at the bottom, and I figured since I love collecting enamel pins, it would be nice to have like a fabric at the top of a project bag where you can put your enamel pins and not worry about poking holes in like the decorative fabric. So that's this. It has a removable handle as well. And yeah, and of course I had to go with something space themed because I'm Kalisha. With this, we have this yarn. This is Sheepy Fibers Etc. in the Raindrop colorway. 75-25, so 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards for 100 grams. And that's really nice and bright. All the rest of the goodies are in this little bag. So you've got everything else is the same. There's the notebook, the tea, the stitch markers from Melody's Needle Notes. There's also a like a lotion bar by Florida Soap Company, and this one's scent is Florida Sunrise. So I only had one of the enamel pins from Crochet Luna to give away, but I did have some of her other buttons. This one says Equal Opportunity Yarn Lover, and because I wanted there to be an enamel pin in here, I pulled one from my collection, and this says Miss Maker. So yeah, I put those in there. Is that everything? I think so. And postcard, but I think that's everything. Yeah. So how do you enter? I would like you to leave a comment down below answering this question. But what are some of the things that you would like to see here on the Quirky Monday Craftcast? Yeah, leave that in a comment down below. That will be your entry. Of course, you have to be a subscriber. That goes without saying. But that is how you will enter for the giveaway. And also, because I didn't want to do just one video about like this is how you enter the giveaway and this is what the giveaway is, I also wanted to answer the questions that I gathered from our 500 subscriber giveaway, which I have right here. So let's get into finding a little bit more about Kalisha. When did you start knitting and crocheting? My mother taught me how to crochet when I was in the 7th grade. And she taught me how to do the chain stitch and the double crochet. So I have a blanket that is just like back and forth chain stitch, or not chain stitch, back and forth double crochet. And when I learned to do that, one of my cousins was like really big into crochet, and she would always she was always making these huge blankets. And when she found out that I was learning how to crochet, she taught me how to do the granny square. So my little blanket that went from like back and forth crochet, it has like a section of back and forth of like crochet rows, and then I have like granny squares, and then I did some more crochet rows, and then I did some more granny squares, and then I lost steam on the blanket. And that was like, all of that was probably like in middle school. Yeah, like 7th, 8th grade. I don't remember doing much yarn crafting in like high school, like 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. I don't remember doing much crochet then. And then I really picked it up again towards the end of college. So like my senior year, I think it could have been my junior year, but I had some depression struggles in sophomore and junior year, and I actually don't remember a lot of those years. So who knows? I could have picked it up earlier. But I definitely remember picking up the crochet again towards like the end of my time at college. After graduation, I was definitely doing it more, and it just kind of grew from there. I learned how to knit a long time ago, like, I don't know. I was still living in Huntsville. So more than 5 years ago, I learned like the basics of knitting, like how to do the knit stitch. And I learned that from a Threadbanger video. And then I was like, oh, I don't really like this. It's taking too long. And so I stopped doing that, and I was just crocheting. Then 3 years ago, I was watching Inside Number 23 with Katie, and she had a Harry Potter knit along, and I decided that I wanted to knit a pair of socks for that knit along, and that's how I started knitting. I started watching like all these videos on how to knit socks and stuff like that, and my first pair of socks were too small, but I loved them, and I have given them to my mom. But that's how I learned how to knit, and I guess the rest is, as they say, history. Question number 2. Do you like to cook? I do not like to cook. I can bake, because I feel like with baking there is like there's specific things that you do, right? If you do A, B, C, you get a cake, right? I feel like with cooking, it's much more flexible. So like how much spice to add to a thing, or it's just so like, it's not as regimented as I would need it to be. So there have been times where I decided like I'm gonna cook, and I go and I try to cook something and it comes out terrible, and because I'm the kind of person who doesn't want to waste their food, I will eat the nasty food and just be angry about it the whole time. So I am like hugely blessed that my husband Lamar is an incredible foodie, and like he will get in the kitchen and he is just like, it's like chopped all-stars in the kitchen, and I'm like, you know, boo, you do you, homie, you know, I see you're in your happy place. But yeah, I do want to get back into baking. I haven't baked anything in a while, and I do kind of miss it, so I'll probably get back into that in the new year. I'm talking about like it's still coming. It's already halfway through January. But yes, I do want to get back into baking, but I don't like to cook. I need to change that, because I want to like to cook, but it doesn't grab me, you know? Number 3, are you planning to have children? Lamar and I would love to have kids. We don't have any right now. People people tell me that I'm a doggy mommy. So you guys heard Kiva and Toot up here. Speaking of Kiva and Toot, can you come back in your yard? She's in the Toodee's in the neighbor's yard looking at me like I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be over here. Come back here. Thank you. Anywho, we don't have people children. We would like to have people children. So yeah. Let's see. What made you want to start a podcast? I wanted to start a podcast to share the crafting that I was doing, and to also be visible. Because I spent a lot of time, like when I was really getting into the crafting world, looking for people that look like me doing this thing, like doing these crafty things that I loved, and it was really hard to find us. So I figured since I'm having a hard time finding it, and I really believe that if there's ever a question that comes to your mind, there is someone else that is asking that same question, who is looking for that same information or that same representation. So since I was thinking, where are the people that look like me, I wanted to be the person that someone else would find, if that makes sense. I also think a lot about our future children, and I think I don't want them to question whether or not something that they're into is like weird, or like, you know, people used to tell me or say to me a lot, oh, black people don't do that, or black people don't do this, or, you know, black people don't listen to that kind of music, or black people don't like that kind of music, or, you know, just all of these different generalizations that really what they ended up saying to me was, because I'm doing all of these things that black people don't do, am I really black? Like, am I black enough to call myself a black person? And we're not even going to get into that whole conversation, but I started this podcast as a means of representation. Next question. What did you learn first, knit or crochet? I learned to crochet first. Okay, so these questions are from when we did the 500 subscriber giveaway, and I think it was definitely around last February, because the next question is, have you ever wanted to go to Wakanda? Yes. I would love to go to Wakanda. And I say that because of just the idea of how Wakanda was envisioned. And if you, for some reason, don't know what Wakanda is the country where the comic book hero Black Panther is from. And it's an African country that has essentially been untouched by outside influences. And so it was able to develop on its own and create technologies of its own, and everything like that. So when Black Panther first came out, it was amazing. Like, to see a cast in this huge movie where like almost everybody is black. That was amazing. And it wasn't like one of those typical black movies. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. If you don't, then we're just going to keep going. But I did a whole lot of reading about, you know, how they made decisions about how to how to bring Wakanda to life. And one of the things that they talked about in how they created Wakanda was they had the desire to have a mixing of various African cultures. And for me, as someone who is a descendant of the American slave trade, right? Knowing that when I trace my lineage back, I get to slavery and then I get a lot of question marks. I have friends who are like, oh, you know, I'm from Nigeria, and they know specifically that they are from Nigeria. They know where, what line and what tribe they are a part of. They know where their blood is, and I don't have that knowledge. So to have an idea of a place like Wakanda, where it is a vast, all-encompassing view of blackness and Africanness, that is just an amazing concept for me. And heck yeah, I would love to visit Wakanda. Let's see. Next question is, what's the meaning behind your screen name? My screen name is Nadira Tani. It is a name that I made up, or that I put together years ago. Probably in like the beginning of high school, middle of high school. It's a mixture of two African names. One is Nadira, that means like unusual one or unique, you know, like that. And the other is Tanisha, and Tanisha can be shortened to Tani. So you have Nadira Tani, and Tanisha means born on a Monday. So you have unique one, born on Monday, and that's also where the Quirky Monday Craftcast comes from. Quirky Monday. I have always had a thing for names, specifically what names mean. And I think that really stems from me having a name that doesn't really have a meaning. My dad mixed my mother's name, Crystal, and one of my aunt's name, Lisa, and blended it together to come up with Kalisha. And that is where my name comes from. So I don't have like, oh, my name means blah, blah, blah. So whenever I think about, you know, oh, be careful, Kiva. Whenever I think about our children, I always think about their names. I want them to have names with meaning. I even extend that to like the dogs, except for Toodee, because I didn't name her, so that's why her name is Toodee. Probably wouldn't have gone with that, but it's okay. That's who you are. That's who you are. It fits your little personality. But Kiva's name means protected. And it might be kind of funny to name a dog Protected instead of like Protector. But I got Kiva after, she's actually the second dog that I've had. The first dog I had, his name was Giannis, which meant gift of God. And I was really looking for like companionship when I got him. But unfortunately, when I adopted him, like whenever you adopt a dog in Alabama, or at least in Huntsville, Alabama, they have to get fixed. So he went to get the surgery to get fixed, and it like caused a reaction that like essentially awakened the dormant parvovirus that he had. And I don't know if you know about parvo, but it is a beast of a virus for small dogs to get. And he was very young. And I think if he had the surgery on a Monday, the parvovirus, the parvovirus took him out by like Thursday. I mean, it was awful. So it was a really, really sad and difficult thing to go through. But when I finally did decide to get another dog, I got Kiva, and I prayed over her so much, like, you know, Lord, just please protect this dog because I want her to be with me for a long time. So yeah, that wasn't even in the question list. Next question. If you were a yarn, what project would you be? I think I would be either a really snuggly sweater or like a blanket, just because I love being warm, I love being cozy, and I feel like I'm the type of person that I'm always like trying to bring people in and to make people feel comfortable. So a blanket or a cozy sweater. What is your desert island yarn? I'm gonna say Lion Brand Mandala or Cupcake, because they're essentially the same thing. But the reason is I feel like this is so practical. One, I love the colors, and I love the way that the colors play together, like the colors that they have put together in their different colorways. But it's 100% acrylic, and I feel like if I'm trapped on a desert island, I'm gonna need some strong fibers. Like, you know, we all love like the wool and stuff, but you know, wool might break down. Acrylic, it's gonna be with you. I could probably like tie together a raft to get off the desert island using my acrylic yarn, and it will be pretty. What was your major in college? I majored in communications with a concentration in photojournalism. Yes. What keeps your crochet mojo? I'm going to broaden that to what keeps my creative mojo. Whenever I feel like my creative mojo is dwindling or my desire to create is dwindling, I shift gears. So if I feel like there's nothing that I want to crochet, then I'll pick up a knitting project. If there's nothing that I want to knit, then I'll pick up scrapbooking. If there's nothing I want to scrapbook, maybe I'll go out with my camera. You know, just having a bunch of different creative outlets allows me to keep approaching creativity and keep approaching inspiration in an active way. Did you knit, crochet, or craft anything for your wedding? Yes, I did. I made my veil. I dyed my slip blue for my something blue. I made our seating chart. I made the pillows for the ring bearer and the Bible bearer, like for them to carry them on. Yeah, so there was quite a bit of DIY and crafting happening at my wedding. Can you get your butt out the camera? Let's see. If you could live anywhere, where would it be and why? I think I would live in Virginia. I used to live in Virginia when I was really young. Well, not really young, probably in like 3rd, 4th grade. And my family is in Delaware. My husband's family is here in Florida. So I feel like if we were in Virginia, we'd be like partway between the families. You know, you're not like north, but you're not like south. So you get like a good mix of seasons, you know. It's just like right there in the middle. And Virginia is just beautiful also. So yeah, that's where I think I'd live. My favorite project and why. Right now, my favorite project is my Gemini shawl, because I love the story of the Gemini shawl, of the Gemini constellation. I love that one of my favorite dyers is in there with the yarn. Birch Hollow Fibers did the corn silk, the light yellow that I used in that design. I love the construction technique that I put it together using. I love how much thought it took to really bring this idea from a doodle in my notebook to a real shawl that I can wrap around myself. I love that it's a physical object that shows my creative process and what I am able to do with these hands. Next. what's different in my crafty life since podcasting? I think I'm a lot more productive, because I think about like, okay, how often am I showing this particular project? It should have like progress. I love the community that it has opened up to me, the friends that I've made, just being able to have these relationships like across the interweb is really cool. Favorite thing to crochet? My favorite like object to crochet, definitely hats, because I love wearing hats. I especially like slouchy hats like these, because they're just so comfortable. What's your favorite TV show or movie? My favorite TV show, I don't know. I don't think I have a current favorite TV show. I love all the superhero shows that they've got going on now on the different channels. As far as movies, does The Grinch count? How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The cartoon version. Although, rating the cartoon versions, like the traditional, like the old school cartoon is my top favorite of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Then the new Grinch, the one that just came out this past Christmas, that one would be my second favorite. And then the Jim Carrey one would be my third, because I feel like I have to add that one in because it's the Grinch and I love the Grinch, but Jim Carrey as the Grinch was a little bit cringy. Last two questions. When did knitting and crochet become a lifestyle instead of a hobby? It became a lifestyle instead of a hobby when I realized how it made me feel. I've talked before about feeling like dealing with anxiety and depression and things like that. And one of the things that I realized, the more that I was knitting and crocheting and like keeping myself busy like that, it calmed me. And one of the places that I especially have seen like this be extraordinarily true is actually at church. I tend to get really, really anxious in like groups of people, and even though I have been like going to this particular church for the whole time Lamar and I have been married, so almost 5 years now, I still feel like a stranger. So a lot of times when we're there after service, you know, I'll have like a knitting project or a crochet project with me, and when I feel like my chest getting tight or anything like that, I'll pull it out and just, you know, start working on it. And it's something in that repetitive motion that causes you to relax. And sometimes if I'm not talking to anybody while I'm doing it, I'll pay attention to the rhythm, and it really like starts affecting my breathing and everything, and I feel that tension that's in my chest releasing. Another time that I have witnessed the power of the yarn was when a couple of us went to this artist market. And, you know, it was another one of those times when there was a lot of people, they were close by, and I started getting really, really anxious. I don't like people bumping into me or touching me. So that kind of crowd situation, just like anxiety just went straight through the roof. So I had a sock project that I was working on. So it was just knitting in the round, just back and forth and back and forth, round and round. And I started working on it, and there was this one lady who commented like, oh, what are you making? So I started telling her like, oh, I'm making a sock. And she was like, can I see it? So I was showing it to her, and she was asking me like how I did the heel and blah, blah, blah. And when I finished talking to her, I turned around and my friend was like, you just spent so much time talking to that stranger and you looked so comfortable. And I was like, that's because I was knitting. Like, I am actively I had broken out into a nervous sweat, but I was able to keep calm in that moment with the, like, under the blanket of my knitting, you know. The last question is, how did you get your dogs? Let me put this down because it's story time. So I kind of already told you how I got Kiva. I adopted her, I don't even remember how many months after Giannis passed away. But Toodee, on the other hand, who is currently... Don't eat that. Don't eat it. Why are you looking at it still? You nasty. Toodee is my accidental doggy. One of my coworkers, I used to work in a call center, and one of my coworkers moved. She got Toodee, and then she moved, and her new apartment, they allowed pets, but she had to pay like this ridiculously high pet deposit. So she was like, hey, Kalisha, I just got this dog. Well, she was a puppy then. She was like this big. She was like, I just got this puppy, and I really need somebody to keep her while I get moved in, and save up for the deposit, for the pet deposit, and then I'll get her back. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's no problem. I already had Kiva, and Kiva in her young days was really, really high energy. So I was like, it would be cool for her to have like a buddy in the house when I'm gone to work. So she dropped off Toodee, and Toodee was a terror. She chewed up all of my shoes. She would rip stuff up in the room. Like, she was the worst. And I remember calling this coworker multiple times, like after I'd had her for like a few weeks, like it was going on like a month and change. And I was like, hey, are you gonna come back and get this dog? Because she's causing lots of damage. And she was like, yeah, I'll come and get her. I'll come and get her on Sunday. So I was like, okay. She never showed up. And I never heard from her again. And that's how I got Toodee. And so after a while, like when I realized like, okay, this girl is not coming for this dog. Like there were a couple times, like a couple Sundays, where she's like, I'm gonna come and get her, and then she didn't show. I was like, okay, no, I'm taking her to the pound, so that somebody else can deal with this dog, because she's just ripping up stuff and I cannot handle this. And Lamar was like, no, we have to keep her. Look at this face. How could you give her away? So we kept her. And luckily, she has grown out of that I want to destroy all the things phase. Now she just, like, she'll rip up toilet paper, but that's fine. But she is a very special member of our family, and I'm glad that Lamar didn't let me take her to the pound. So yeah, whole bunch of information about me. Let's see, what other things might you want to know? I am 32 currently. My birthday is in February. It's February 24th. I will be 33. And I am the oldest of 3 kids. I have 2 younger brothers. I played sports in high school. I played field hockey and soccer. I enjoyed field hockey. I did get injured quite a bit. I've had 2 knee surgeries and a cartilage transplant on my knee. I got hit in the head twice with a hockey ball. One of my friends' mom said, you know, you got hit in the head once, you know, because you were, you know, it was a bad shot. You got hit in the head twice because you don't have any sense left. What can I say? What can I say? I grew up as a pastor's kid, so we moved around quite a lot. So I was always the new kid, chronically the new kid. It was kind of difficult making friends when I was younger because I was always the new kid. So, and they never move pastors at a time that makes sense. They always move you in the middle of a school year. So not only was I the new kid, I was the new kid in the middle of the school year. So there's that. I used to write poetry a lot. I've shared a couple poems on here in the past. I am wanting to get back into more writing because there is something special about the way that writing makes me feel and the way that it feels coming out that I want to tap back into. My favorite poets are Nikki Giovanni and Sonny Patterson. I love polka dots and sun showers and the smell of honeysuckles and flying kites and simple things, and I love walking barefoot in grass. I love swinging on swings. I love singing, even though I don't think I'm like particularly good at it, but I enjoy it. I love dancing. I am terrible at it, but I enjoy that. I love driving and seeing places and taking road trips. I love being out in nature. One of my favorite feelings is standing on the beach right at the end of the sand, like where the water first hits the sand, and like having a wave wash past my feet and then wash back out. And when it does that, it pulls the sand from underneath my feet, and like for a split second you feel weightless. One of my favorite books that I ever read was The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I went and I saw that movie with one of my friends and I cried unashamedly. I'm terrible at surprises. I love giving people gifts. I enjoy swimming. I love laughing. I love storytelling. I love learning about new people and new places, and I love mythology. I'm Christian. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist more specifically, but more importantly, I am a lover of God. I have one tattoo. It is, and you can just barely see it. It's an Andinkra symbol called the Wawa Aba, and it is a symbol that represents a person who is strong and tough, who has persevered through hardship. I need to get it retouched. When I first got it, I thought, oh, you know, it's fine. When it fades, it fades. It'll be a testament to where I have been, and now that I am through it and everything like that, it'll be fine when it fades away. And then it started fading, and I was like, wait a minute. So I need to get that redone. It is in a very special place. When I mentioned it briefly, but when I was in college in my sophomore and junior year, it was the first time that I really dealt with depression. And one of the things that I developed, like one of the thought patterns that I developed within that depression was a thought that said, whatever pain you cause yourself, if you can get past that, then you can get past anything. So I started burning myself. And the worst burns that I have are right here in the middle of the Wawa Aba. And so that's why I tattooed this symbol over top of those burns. Just as a way to remember what I had gone through, to remember what I was thinking, and a way to say that yes, this is in your history, this is something that you've dealt with, these are things that still come up in my mind now. There are days where I get really low and I start thinking like, you know, grab a lighter. And then I have to remind myself, no, we don't do that anymore. Yeah, so that's my one tattoo. It's very special to me. I love tea. I have a collection of mugs. I'm a Hufflepuff. I love space things and stargazing and meteor showers and anything that's happening in the night sky. I want to know about it and I want to see it. Yeah. So yeah, if there's anything else you want to know about me, leave a comment down below. If you want to enter the giveaway, leave a comment letting me know what you would like to see from the Quirky Monday Craftcast. And this giveaway will stay open for a week. So today is Wednesday. Yes, today is Wednesday the 15th. So on next Wednesday, I will pull the winners, and get them announced. So thanks so much for being here with me today. Thank you for being a part of my universe. I appreciate you.